By the end of this video, you'll discover why doing the right thing could be quietly burning you out as a highly sensitive person, and how to start building a life that supports your values without sacrificing your well-being. In this video, you'll discover why doing the right thing can quietly drain you over time, how guilt keeps you from claiming the space you actually need, and the real reason rest feels uncomfortable even when you need it the most. You're the one that shows up. You notice what needs doing before anyone asks, and you stay a little later to make sure it's done well. You smooth the rough edges, you fill in the gaps, and anticipate what might go wrong. People trust you because you're capable. They lean on you because you're steady. And you don't mind, at least not at first, because being helpful feels good to you. So you keep going. You handle the email, you take the extra call, you carry the emotional weight of the room without realizing you're even doing it. And then one day, nothing is wrong exactly, but you're tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. Weekends don't restore you. Time off feels strangely incomplete. Even when you stop working, your body hasn't gotten the message. And you wonder, what are you doing wrong? But the truth is, you didn't burn out because you weren't aligned. You burned out because you were always on, always holding, always compensating, always making sure things didn't fall apart. And no one ever told you that being capable doesn't mean that you have to carry everything yourself. This is a very common pattern for highly sensitive people. It's not who we are as highly sensitive people, but it's a common stress pattern that we can fall into. You might end up hesitating to ask for what you need because you don't want to burden anyone. You might downplay your stress, telling yourself you're fine, and keep going even when your body and energy say otherwise. You might feel guilty for blocking time to rest, or for raising your rates, or for saying no to a friend in need. This is what happens when the natural, caring nature of a highly sensitive person ends up constantly giving instead of pacing yourself with alternating periods of being on and being off of duty. So you've done the right thing for everyone else, ethically, relationally, emotionally. But you did it without a structure that could support you. It may feel selfish, but the reality is that you're under-resourced when you try to do it all yourself. The analogy I like to think of is if I'm trying to hold up a building all by myself, just above my head, a house or a building, as opposed to setting the building on the ground and going inside the building and inhabiting the building. What happens is when you think you have to do it all yourself, and you see that you're capable, and maybe the only one capable, you can end up feeling a kind of guilt that you should be doing it. You should be the one that continues to hold, because if you don't, the building will fall. But at the same time, you can also start building a kind of resentment, just comes up naturally inside, because there's something unfair about it. And that resentment can grow into a tiredness that goes beyond just fatigue, like daily fatigue. And you may start longing to stop being the emotional or physical infrastructure for everyone else. What happens when you never take up space for yourself? You end up living off of adrenaline and obligation and guilt instead of rhythm and rest. You finish one job and another immediately comes to take its place. Even when you're off, you're thinking and planning for the next time that you're on. So in reality, you're not actually off duty at all. You may also attract relationships and even clients who expect everything from you because you trained them that way. You're willing to do everything. And so they just are willing to take it. You may end up making decisions based on what's right for others instead of what's sustainable for you. And you don't just end up feeling overwhelmed, you may end up feeling a kind of hopelessness that you'll ever come back to balance. So there are some underlying beliefs here that support this kind of stress. Beliefs like being good means putting others first. There are many variations of this, but the idea is giving to others is more important than taking care of yourself, or that taking care of yourself is somehow selfish. Another variation is if I take up space, then someone else will suffer. And so it's not right for someone else to suffer, so I should just not take up space. And another is I can't afford to prioritize my needs. Like, oh, that would be nice. That would be a nice luxury. Someday I'll take care of myself when I finally am making enough money or have a secure situation. The truth is that goodness and doing the right thing without boundaries ends up actually creating depletion, and it doesn't create peace. My experience running a business for so many years and not really knowing how to do it, and being an HSP and having no training in business, is that I just put everyone else first. I'll just give and give and give, and then it will all work out in the end. But there were places in that journey which showed me that that's not actually the truth. I actually have to plan for myself. I have to plan that I'm making enough money. I have to plan that I have off time. I have to plan a balanced life. And if I don't, I will always find more and more things that are good to do that bring the balance too much of me supporting everyone else instead of a balance. Thing is, you can't build a sustainable life by making yourself disappear. It's not possible. You're part of the equation. Balance means there has to be as much weight on the me side as there is on the them side. Too much in either direction isn't good, right? We know people that are all me, but we also know people, we know them very well, that are them. So somewhere in the middle is a me and them, and that's what balance is. So taking care of yourself isn't necessarily a betrayal of your values. It can be a foundation that lets your values last so that you don't just burn out after a few short years of giving everything and then having nothing left to give. And recently, I've been playing with this very strategically within myself in my business of how I take off time, how I stop at the end of the day, how I don't work on the weekends, how I just postpone and let things slide until the next weekday, and then they have to fit in there. And it's starting to give me my life back. So if you've done the right thing, maybe for years, but you haven't been doing the right thing for yourself, if you haven't been including yourself in the process, then there's this missing piece in here. And this is what I want to address today. It isn't about abandoning your values. It's about creating a rhythm or a structure, however that looks for you. A life that you design that lets your sensitivity thrive instead of just surviving, trying to do what is right, trying to do the next thing for everyone. When you stop running on guilt and start building around your actual nervous system, everything starts to change. Sensitivity without a structure is like having a candle burning in the open air. It gives light, but it also consumes itself because the wind is moving it and it ends up burning down much faster. Whereas sensitivity with structure is like a candle inside of a lantern. The same flame, but it's protected, it's regulated, and as a result, it's able to burn longer without destroying itself. So if you've spent years doing the right thing and you're still tired, underpaid, emotionally overloaded, or invisibly holding the world together, it's time to do something different. Not something louder, not something bigger, not something more impressive, just deeper, something more sustainable. And that's exactly why I created the HSP Inner Freedom Program, to help sensitive people like you stop feeling guilty for having needs and start building a life that honors their depth without burning out. You'll learn how to stop overgiving, start receiving, and build a nervous system friendly rhythm that actually supports your values instead of draining them. To learn more about this program, go to the video description, click on the first link you see, or go to trueinnerfreedom.com/program.